Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 44-year-old Missouri resident Daniel Donnelly Jr. legally changed his name to Rally Runner. That's because he's a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan. So on January 6th, he showed up at the Capitol. He was dressed all in red, and he had his face painted red. And by the time he got to the Capitol, the mob had already pushed past the police. There was a large group that was trying to enter the building through the lower West Terrace tunnel, which you guys know well if you've been following these cases. So Runner was among this group, and he was seen assisting others. He was passing a ladder into the tunnel, presumably to be used against the police. He was then seen carrying a stolen police riot shield to the entrance of the tunnel. So he stood facing the police. He was holding the shield in front of him as other people attacked the officers. And people used Runner basically like a shield himself. So one man ran up behind him, reached around and sprayed the police with an orange chemical. Then another person ran up, reached around Runner and grabbed an officer by the arm. So that person tried to pull the officer out into the mob. And then a short time later, Runner started pushing forward with the shield. So he was pressing it into the police. And according to the prosecutor, Runner is a pretty big guy. They said he's 6'5" and he weighs 220 pounds. So along with the rest of the mob, he managed to force the police backward, deeper into the tunnel. So that lasted about 10 minutes, and then reinforcements arrived to help the police, and they were able to push the mob back closer to the tunnel entrance again. And Runner was seen exiting the tunnel with his fist in the air, so he was celebrating his crimes. Sometime after that, Runner posted a 26-minute video on Facebook, and he detailed the attack. He said in part, quote, "I was right up there, and for some reason, like the other people there on the front lines with me, they did something similar. It's like they followed my lead. Kind of, and it turned out to be a great strategy because the whole crowd was doing that, was able to push further than we had gotten the whole time, the entire time." And quote, "It was working until more cops showed up. I'm right at the front of it and got through those doors into the Capitol, and that's when reinforcements came." So Runner was arrested on August 2nd of 2023, and he was charged with civil disorder, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and impeding passage on Capitol grounds. In March of 2024, Runner pleaded guilty to the felony charge of civil disorder. So he faced up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. But the prosecutor requested only 27 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And this guy has a very lengthy criminal history. It dates all the way back to the 90s. So get comfortable. We're going to be here for a while. In 1997, Runner was charged with felony possession of a controlled substance. He was given a 1-year deferred sentence for that. 2002, he was charged for writing 19 bad checks worth $500 or more. He got a 5-year suspended sentence again and probation. In 2003, he did that again. He passed another $805 bad check. For that repeat offense, he was given a 4-year suspended sentence and 5 years of probation. Just can't figure out why he keeps committing crimes, huh? That same year, Runner violated a protection order for stalking a 17-year-old girl. And he again got a suspended sentence and probation. And just to do the math for you, he would have been 23 at the time. So old enough to know better, not to stalk a teenage girl. Anyway, in 2007, Runner received a fine because he had numerous traffic violations. He was also charged in 2007 with criminal trespass in the first degree. For that, he was ordered to pay a fine. Again, can't figure out why this guy just keeps criming, right? Maybe it's the lack of any kind of consequences. So then we get to 2010. Renner was convicted for second-degree burglary. So his crimes are getting bigger, more severe. Renner was finally, for that, given a jail sentence of 5 years. So stalking a teenager, which could have ended in something very serious, that's not worthy of jail time. But, burglary is. The same year, 2010, he stole a bicycle. He was convicted of theft. So they gave him another 5 years, but the court said, oh, it'll just run concurrent with the burglary sentence. So he still wasn't done. That same year, 2010, he stole a car. He was convicted, and he also got hit with charges for witness tampering for that crime, for that same incident. So the judge sentenced him to another 5 years for the theft and for the witness tampering. Once again, the court said, we'll make it concurrent. You can just serve it all at the same time. So, is that it, Gina? No, there's more. So, same year, 2010, Renner steals another bicycle. He was given, you guessed it, another 5-year concurrent sentence. So, again, stealing a bike, much more important, much more serious, apparently, in our justice system than stalking a teenager. Anyway, as soon as he got out of jail for all of those crimes, he was back at it. In 2015, he was charged with criminal trespass. So Renner was convicted. He was sentenced to only 60 days of supervision and a $150 fine. And the prosecutor said he had numerous other traffic violations all along the way. So 2005, 2006, 2008, and 2010. They didn't say if he received any punishment for those violations. I would assume no, since they don't seem to care. So anyway, unfortunately, Renner had one of the weakest January 6 judges on the bench. Hands down, she hands out even worse sentences than Trump-appointed judges. It's almost unbelievable. So I'm talking about U.S. District Judge Gia Cobb. She was appointed by Biden, one of his big mistakes. She presided over Renner's case, and she ended up sentencing him to only 10 months in prison, $2,000 in restitution, and a $1,000 fine. So as far as I know, not even any probation. I mean, there is clearly something going on with this guy. There's something off, right? You don't change your name to Runner, like Rally Runner, and paint your face red. And, apparently he's unemployed. And so, yeah, there's something going on. So maybe prison isn't the best fit for him. But in that case, just send him somewhere where he can get some help, Yeah. And I should mention, too, this guy was one of the people that Tucker Carlson used as an example when he was trying to push his BS conspiracy theories about the Capitol attack being a government setup. Carlson tried to say that Runner was an FBI plant and he was an instigator. It's like, oh, why is it this guy hasn't been arrested? A lot of people haven't been arrested, idiot. It's, that's the way our justice system works. They can only handle a certain amount of cases. And it makes no sense. Why would the government have someone paint their face red if they're trying to blend in and go incognito? Tucker Carlson is seriously, he's one of the most ignorant people on the planet. It is painful. So anyway, I will let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.